What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rita's Way. Today we're gonna make the most amazing lasagna that you will ever have. Yes. We're making lasagna today, and it's so time consuming, but it's so worth it. At least it's time consuming for me because I make my meat sauce from scratch. But if you do get it store-bought, which is no judgment at all, you can cut up about an hour of work. So it's actually a family favorite recipe, and I am really happy to be sharing it with you guys today. So there's not much to say because I'm really looking forward to it. I'm getting hungry too. So if you guys are ready, I know I am. So let's get this started. We first start with getting the biggest pot you got because I'm gonna make a lot. And we're using 1 pound of ground beef. I'm using the 80% lean, 20% fat. And we're also using 1 pound of Italian sausage. I got the hot. You can have mild or no heat at all. So we're gonna add these two in the pot once it's already hot. While we get that in, I have my meat cutter, dicer, chopper, and we get to work. Let's chop it up, mix it up. You can use a regular spoon, but my hands hurt when I did that. Imagine the happiness I had, or I felt, when I found about this. It is so helpful. If you're wondering, I'm using a glove because, well, the handles on this actually gets hot too. So, but once you see that everything is already mixed up, we just stir it a little bit longer. And I'm not adding any seasonings or anything else until everything gets cooked, because I personally like to drain the fat out of my ground beef before I add anything else. If not, I'll just get sick. So let's wait for these to cook, and once we drain it, we're gonna go ahead and take the next step. Alright, now that this is already cooked, we're gonna drain it and get back to it. Go back in. Now we can start adding our veggies. If you have any, we can start adding our seasonings and whatnot. The first what we're gonna add is some Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna use half a cup. Also adding a whole white onion, diced. And we're also using 5 cloves of minced garlic. So I'm just gonna use about 4 to 5 tablespoons of this. 4. There you go. And 2 tablespoons of sugar. Bring them up together so they can cook while I add more seasonings to it. And a tablespoon of oregano. Put 2 bay leaves to it. And again, remember how many you put in there. That way by the time it comes to take it out, you know exactly how many you're actually supposed to look for. I'm gonna use 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and also salt. Stirring as I go. I'm gonna use 1 pack, let me show you here. 1 pack of beef bouillon, and I'm gonna add half a cup of water with this. Now that everything is together, I'm gonna add some crushed tomatoes with tomato puree, 28 ounce. Make sure you got all of that out there. We're also adding 15 ounce of tomato sauce. And we're adding 2 cans of tomato paste. They're 6 ounces each. The last piece before I stir is 1 pack of sazon. All right, and there we go. Just gonna mix this up real good. In all honesty, if you buy your lasagna or spaghetti sauce already store-bought, you can definitely opt out of this step. We're gonna turn the heat medium-low and just let it simmer for at least 1 hour. It has been exactly an hour, so this is how it looks. I already tried it. Make sure you do taste test your sauce to make sure that it's actually the right taste that you're looking for. So now that this is done, I'm gonna move it to a bowl and I'm gonna use the same pot to boil my noodles. I do want to let you guys know that if you want, you can honestly boil the lasagna noodles next to the sauce. You can boil them as you cook the meat sauce, and I honestly use the same pot. That way I don't have many pots because it does take some time and a lot of things. So I just use one pot for everything I can. And I have the water for my noodles. And in all honesty, I'm just gonna suggest you the easy and quick way. I'm using a whole box, which is, the lasagna box is 1 pound. And I'm just following the instructions right over here. So you do that and I'll see you in the prepping time. All right, so while we have our noodles boiling, I'm gonna make and show you how to do the ricotta filling. We're gonna use 32 ounces of ricotta cheese. This one is made with whole milk. Now it's up to you if you use it like that or not. Ooh, there we go. 1 egg. 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, half a tablespoon of sea salt, and lastly, half a tablespoon of ground nutmeg. Once we have all together, I'm gonna actually just use a fork. We're gonna mix it all up together, just like that. And there you have it. Now, since we're still waiting for the noodles to be boiled, I'm gonna leave this covered in the fridge until we're ready to use it. All right, it's time to assemble the lasagna. I have my oven preheated on 375 degrees, and I'm using an aluminum 9x13 pan because, yeah, I have my baking pan under it. That way it helps me support it when I'm ready to pick it up. And we are going to start 1 cup. I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of the meat sauce on the bottom, enough to cover it. That way the noodles don't get stuck to the bottom. Let's see right over here. Doesn't have to be completely entirely covered, but you want most of it to be at least have some sauce on it. Then we're getting our noodles. I'm gonna place 4. The ricotta, I'm using 1/3 cup, so I can cover this up. Let me get a spatula. And even though I'm using 1/3 of a cup, I'm using it as many times as I want, because you just want to make sure it's covered. Don't be stingy with it. It's all good. There's a lot there left for more. Now that the ricotta is spread, we're gonna use mozzarella cheese. Now I'm gonna cover it. Not do too much, but I'm gonna cover the whole top with it. Use shredded cheese, you can use sliced, but mozzarella. And after that, we're gonna use our Parmesan cheese and do the same thing. With this as well, you can use shredded or you can use grated, just like I did. Now that we have our cheese layer, we're gonna go ahead and top it with some meat sauce. That looks really good. Now that we have it like this, we just keep repeating what we just did. Put the layers, and that's pretty much it. So let's get to it. Alright, this is gonna be my last layer. In all honesty, I tend to not use all the ricotta cheese mix and, well, nor the lasagna noodles. So what I do is I add some more meat sauce on top of the last layer. That way the noodles don't get too dry when I put them in the oven. So we're gonna add the last or remaining cup of meat sauce, and we're gonna cover it with cheese before we put it in the oven. Italian seasoning, which we're gonna sprinkle on top a little bit, and this is all. We're going to cover the lasagna for the first 25 minutes with some aluminum foil. Not too tight, enough to close the edges. There we go. That way it has some time to boil within and not only the cheese on top. So now that we have this right here, we're gonna put this in the oven for 25 minutes. And after that, we're just gonna uncover it and give it another 25. So I'll see you when it's done. Oh, this is heavy. And here we go. Awesome, it is heavy, definitely heavy. But look at that, that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you, the foil took a chunk of cheese from over here and from over there, but it's okay. That's why you have to make the foil loose. Cannot have it, you know, perfect all the time, but it's okay. In all honesty, the smell of this, it is incredible. Okay, so in my defense, it's not gonna look like this, like blobbed. It's actually because I could not wait. After you take it out of the oven, you should leave it at least, what, 30 minutes? The way it can set. But in all honesty, I couldn't. But it's still looking pretty good. So don't do it like I did. Wait at least 20 minutes, 15, before you know, slice it and get your piece. But it just looks so good. And it smells even better. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope that it was worth the time. It is, trust me. So, again, with the leftovers that you have, the leftover ricotta cheese mix and also the noodles that we have in the fridge, I'm gonna, you know, make some lasagna rolls or also just make some chicken lasagna. Have you ever had that? I haven't, but they look good. So thank you guys so much for watching, and this is my favorite thing. You know what, hold on. Come on. Yeah, so worth it. Hot, super hot, but yeah, definitely still worth it. But again, thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you do like it, let me know how it goes, and I wish you could enjoy it with me. But have a good one.